Hello everybody and welcome to X4 4.0 Absolute Beginner's Guide. If you are a returning player, there are some things that may help you here, but I suggest checking out one of my other guides that will show you the new changes for 4.0. This guide is going to be for those of you who are just joining us on the X4, whether you've got Cradle of Humanity, Split Vendetta, or just a standard basic game. Most of the stuff you're going to see today will help you in some way or another. Before we get going, so the first thing I want to talk about is actually starting in the game and the differences between the new game modes. First of all, if you just want to get straight into it and learn from the bottom up without too much of an issue with like missions and stuff like that, then the Young Gun is definitely the best way to go about it. I prefer that way because it does give you a main storyline and there's obviously a lot of other things you can do in it, but there isn't a push towards it. The rest of them will start trying to push you towards stuff, and I'm not going to go over the top of them because they'll start talking about stuff, but they all have their own backstory. So definitely check them out, and I will do guides or series on at least some of these start modes. Definitely going to do the Cradle of Humanity ones with it being the new release patch, so check out them. But let's get into the Young Gun. Okay, so when you start off, you will be on a station like this, and you'll have a ship. And everything else is set to a default setting. You get the same logo, and your name is Val Selton. You can change that if you wish, and I'll show you at a later stage. General controls are as you would expect. W, A, S, and D will allow you to control, and obviously your mouse as you look around. Running is not the shift key. You won't go anywhere with the shift key pressed. Running is double tapping the W key and you'll run. And shift D will teleport you back into your ship from wherever you are on the station. Okay, so the H menu, if you require it, is there. It will give you some tutorials on how to do things. You can get some external resources as well, which is awesome. There you go. So you got the 6 videos that the developer did, which are pretty good. They're pretty useful. Definitely check them out. And obviously got the usual Ego Soft stuff as well there. And you get the manual as well, which is good. If you want to play this game to its fullest potential, I definitely recommend checking out the manuals and the videos as well there. I will try my best to get everything covered in my videos to help you get to where you want to do. But I generally kind of go in one direction towards actually playing to a certain style. So there's a lot of other things I don't cover, like I haven't recently covered boarding and stuff like that, which we will get to. Right, without further ado, let's press the escape key and get out of that. Okay.
We have reports of an outbreak of Argon flu in this sector. Would all visitors please report to the medic bay for inoculation?
Awesome. Now there is like little background stories and stuff like that, which is awesome. It gives it a bit of a feel. But right, let's get on with our ship and carry on doing what we need to do.
Vanguard.
Okay, so if you hover over your cursor over this seat, or if you jump out and I believe it's somewhere, or you just click on it. No, oh, it's docked, so it won't let you do it. That's fine. If you put your cursor over the seat there, it'll tell you that it's got no commander, it's got hull 100%, shield 100%, and it's got some storage and no crew. Your first ship has no pilot. Every other ship you will build will have a pilot unless they abandon ship. Bear that in mind. This is the only one. So you click on that to see, and you get this little controller here. If you drop off that, which you can't do from this screen here, but if you get up, you can actually press the enter key, and it will give you the same menu as well. That's the enter key to have that. You can then go to your ship from here, and it'll just teleport you to your ship, same as Shift and D does, which teleports you basically into the ship's teleporter there. Okay, let's sit down and let's get off and get underway. So you can see here, if you actually scroll over, it will actually give you the shortcuts for whatever it is you need. Shift and enter gives you the ship information. And then obviously Shift and D allows you to undock. Okay, so first things first, you'll try and rotate, and you're only going side to side, up and down. Because W, A, S, and D is exactly that. It is strafing. W, A, S, and D. Q is roll one way. E is roll the other way. There are certain things you can do with advanced control commands, but the easiest thing to do right now is to press Shift and Spacebar, and that gives you mouse control. If you're using a joystick, it's slightly different, and I will put my settings down on a link below. I'll slowly update a cheat sheet with all the settings and all the controls you require throughout the game, and I'll keep adding to it. I've adjusted mine because I use the X52, so I've actually made some slight setting changes which make it a little bit easier. But with the steer mode activated, your mouse now becomes the steering, but you still have the strafe abilities and the roll abilities as well. If you've got a mouse wheel, that is your forward and reverse thrust, or you've got the Z and the X keys to feather it if you so wish. Let's get on out and underway. And here we go. If you press the tab button, it'll boost you slightly. There we go. Now, boosting actually takes your shields to boost. So bear that in mind. Right, this is the station which you start. I'm going to just disable my thing ability here, my steering ability. Now, you'll see the little white dot that's following my cursor. That's actually where your weapons are training right now. To fire your weapons is your spacebar. And you see, actually it's locked though. Why is it locked to the... There we go. Oh, it's centralizing itself. Excellent. So the first shot. There you go. Yep. So you see now it's following where I'm following my cursor. Without firing, it will naturally follow, but then it will go to its targeting reticle, which is right there. To make it follow directly, so if you have to stay flying around, you want to keep, scrolling around, but you want to keep your target in range, use your mouse wheel and click in, and it will actually fire where that cursor's pointing. Okay, next thing to point out. Little white... Let's take that off there. Little white bar there is your hull, and the blue bar is your shields. Boost takes your shields away, and then they'll recharge over time. Okay, so if you rotate, naturally it will self-align itself to the plane of the map. Everything's kind of on the same plane. See, all the stations are all built to the same plane. If you put yourself like so, you are technically out of the plane, but your self-righting is where your radar is. It'll actually self-right it to that. So, even if you do that, it doesn't do anything. But as soon as you go maybe slightly, let's just rotate it around there. You see, it will self-right itself again. So you've got no worries there. You can change that in the settings, but as a new player, I suggest you don't change that. Right, next question. What is it you're actually doing? Well, ask yourself the question. If you want to go into combat, then you're going to need combat ships. If you want to go into economy, then you need to go into economy side of things. If you want to generate wars and stuff like that, wars you can do. If you want to have a sneak peek of what to expect, check out the 3.3 war guide that I've got, and there is an economy one as well. You'll see a few things you can do there. 4.0 hasn't changed that much in the terms of what you can do. It just makes it a lot easier now. Right, so what do we do from here? Right, first thing we can do is we can have a look at the map if we press the M key, and we can see where we are. You get Argon Prime, Second Contact, and Black Hole Sun as your first three systems that you can see. This is why this is the best system to start in. Oh, that's noisy. Right, let's just get out of the way of that. I actually think they pushed us back then. Right, these are the best three to start on with. The forces that come to attack you aren't too bad there. They're just like raiding parties here and there. You do get a raiding party trying to attack you when you're trying to do your main mission. However, it's not as bad as it can be. Right, so we can view the map. We can see we're at the Argon Equipment Dock in Black Hole Sun. But that's all we can see. We can see a couple of factories here. To change that, if we press Shift and 3, this is now our long-range scan mode. You can tell that because it's got a blue outline on everything. If you hold your L key, you get a new... Look at that. And you see that red bar? That means we've overpowered our long-range scanners. So it means now if I let go, it does nothing. This is an adjustment for 4.0. It actually shows you the charge rate now. So if you go like so, you get a beam passing out in that direction. And then all we do is if we send beams out here, there, and everywhere. There we go. You can see the beam passing there. Okay, so what has that actually done for us? Well, if we have a look on our map, you'll now see we've got these unknown stations. You don't need to do that, but it's good to do when you're in a new sector if you're doing it via your own ship, just so you can see what stations you've got, so you can head to and have a look, then do another long-range scan and repeat the process. Just means you're actually going to something that's kind of relatively in this range here, so there's nothing around this area here. What you want to do is you want to press your Shift 2, which is your short-range scan mode. And the reason why you want to do this is it's easier to find your starter mission. So there is actually a starter mission. You don't need to do the starter mission if you don't want, but I do recommend you at least find it so you don't miss it in the future. And then all you need to do is you need to go around the station that you've got. I generally aim for these little connectors here because they're a little bit easier to find it. And if we go around and just take it nice and easy, and all you're doing is you're looking at the station and you're looking for things that are like electrical short circuits is the best way to describe it. Go around here. You can hear it, but obviously there's a few ships flying around, so it makes it a little hard to hear. There's generally not one on the build connector there, but there is sometimes. You'll also see that we're actually getting scans off the station as well, and the station's color-coded. We'll talk about the color-coding on stations at a later stage, but they are color-coded for what they specifically do. Let us continue around. Oh! Really sure I heard something around here, so let's have a look. So all you do is you just go around looking. There it is. You see it there? It is a lot easier to see since the 4.0. They made it a little bit more obvious. Now, why are we in scan mode and just not looking for it without the scan mode? If I turn it off, it's not as easy to see. The scan mode makes it much, much easier to see. Okay. Then all you do is you get close. There we go. You'll get the modulating audio signal. Press the F key. Okay, so this is a mission briefing. So we don't want to do a mission just yet. You get some cash, you can get a cash reward. But I need to get off the station. So this is a transport. So this is probably actually easier for you to get some cash. We'll accept that. But we don't need to do anything with it. I don't believe. Have a look. Yeah, there's no timer. See, timer is 0, so we're all good. Be wary of that. If there is a timer, then obviously we wouldn't have accepted it. So we're looking for another signal that's of a similar style to that. Okay, right. I'm just going to fast forward here now until we found the signal, and hopefully that'll give us the main mission we want. Okay, so we've got ourselves a second signal, so hopefully this will be the one that we need. So let's move on forward. Oh. Go.
One moment, please.
Press F again. There we go.
I had to disable my voice filter. I was beginning to think my messages were being intercepted by those Split fellows. I'm a little disappointed that it was this easy. I don't suppose they sent you, did they? Oh, that would be quite devious.
Okay, right, so now that we're out of the way of that thing bleeping at me all the time, it's going to give you a little bit of a dialogue which you can press your numbers to reply.
I suppose captors is quite apt. Employers? They let me work on my own projects some days, you see.
Okay, press 1 again. Do you need help?
You see, I'm in a spot of bother. I'm in the middle of some important scientific research which I'm unable to pursue personally from my current location. I'm looking for an assistant to aid me.
Okay, so you can tell him that you can't help at the moment, or you can ask him what you need to do. I suggest you ask what he needs to do because you can sit on that for a while.
I'll send the task to your ship computer. This is rather exciting.
There you go. So we get a dock at station, pick up the interface unit, fly into the area, and then achieve life's work. We can accept that.
Wonderful. I have managed to place the device on a nearby docking area. You should be getting the coordinates now.
Right, so you can choose to do that, or you can set it to inactive, and you get rid of your mission currently. So we've got our main mission, which is going to lead us to our HQ and be able to do some things. I don't want to spoil it too much so that you don't get too far ahead of what you are actually playing at the present moment, so we won't discuss it too far. That is basically the basics of getting out on your ship and getting flying around. The only last one I haven't really covered that you may need is the travel mode. These are jump gates and highways. They look like that. That's the highways there. You'll get the jump gate somewhere. I don't know if it's in range. I cannot see one. So no, there's not one in range at the present moment. There is one around somewhere. So to get to these, that's 53 kilometers away. At our top speed, we're doing about 179 meters, 180 meters a second. You can see that's going to take us some time. Press Shift F1. Shift 1. And we get travel mode engaging. As a fighter, your travel mode engages and charges very, very fast. Larger ships take longer to charge, but generally get much, much more speeds out of it. And there you go. There's your travel mode. To disengage travel mode, it's Shift 1 again, and it'll drop you back down to 0 speed. Be wary, it takes a while to decelerate. So just be wary of that, so don't overshoot. As you can see, we've travelled even closer to it, and we're at 180 meters a second again. Drop that down to 0, and you now stop still. That's the basics on how to get into your ship. The one last thing I will discuss, in case anybody does want to have a play around with it, if you press your Shift D, that again gives you your ship details now. It also is a little bit of a shortcut to go into the map if you want to keep an angle on your ship. So I'd say you want your ship to do some stuff. You're the one commanding it, so you don't really need that at the moment. But it will give you some various things that you can check out. Things like your weapon outputs and stuff like that. So when we come to checking out an enemy, you can use what you know about your ship to obviously be able to attack them.
Requesting permission to dock. Docking permission granted.
There we go. These menus and stuff like that we'll cover in the next episode, because we don't need to worry too much about that. The one thing I just want to comment last before we go is if you press the Enter key and get up, or Shift and D as a shortcut,
Elite Vanguard.
you can use your transporter room to go to your spacesuit. There we go. Exact same commands as it is for flying, but bear in mind, you don't have a way to stop yourself dead. You have to use your thrusters to stop yourself, because obviously you have 0G here right now, whereas a ship has... Oh, my ship's wandering off. Click it, we'll click it and right click. Get away. No. Shift D. There we go, that's the one I wanted. Sorry, I don't tend to get out in my spacesuit too often. Shift D directs you to where you need to go. I forgot, because there's no commander, you can't request docking. There we go. And you're back in your ship. There we go. Excellent. And we're back safe again, back on our ship. So yeah, so you got no dampeners on your spacesuit, so obviously be wary of that. Your ship can stop dead, you can't, so you'll end up hitting something and kill yourself. If you want to use your spacesuit, go ahead and use it. It's just so you, in case you wanted to. Obviously people like to play things on their own and have a bit of a dabble, so that's how you do it. Same commands as if you were in your ship. Just remember, no dampeners. Alright, that's going to be us for this episode. I'm just going over the basics right now. We're going to go into a lot more depth in the next episode, talking about things like how to earn money, how to get started, mining, trading, all that kind of stuff. 4.0 has brought us some brilliant ways of earning lots of money in a short space of time, so you can start building up things really good. So, until next time, everybody, take care for now. I shall see you all on the next one. Bye-bye for now.